To protect my mother from further domestic abuse, I tricked her into moving to Shanghai to live with me. Because I was afraid my father would come looking for her, I asked her to cut off all contact with our hometown. Originally, I wanted her to rest at home, but she couldn't sit still, so I asked a friend for help and found her a job. What I didn't expect was that, after only a few days at work, she actually asked an elderly client for their home address and wrote a letter to contact my father. I was terrified that my father would track the address from the letter and cause trouble for the elderly person, so I decided to take my mother and quit the job, not wanting to drag anyone else into this. But my mother refused to quit, and we got into a fight. After the elderly person found out, they pleaded on my mother's behalf. Out of respect for them, I gave my mother one last chance. She also promised she would change. I thought that this time, she would finally settle down and work properly, but I later heard from my friend that my mother had left a note and disappeared. Fortunately, the next day, I received a call from my aunt, who said my mother had gone to her house. I asked my aunt to send my mother back to Shanghai and drove out to pick her up. On the way, I warned her that if she kept doing this, I wouldn't help her anymore. My mother said she understood. After that, I took my mother back to the elderly person's home and had her apologize. Not only was the elderly person not upset, they even told my mother to get some good rest. I apologized to them again and then went downstairs to look for my friend. That's when my friend told me the reason my mother kept behaving this way was because she had Stockholm syndrome. This condition causes victims to develop emotional dependence on their abusers. I had actually suspected this for a long time, but this kind of psychological condition can only be healed through self-adjustment. There was nothing I could do to help her. Seeing how distressed I was, my friend comforted me, saying my mother would get better someday, and then took me out to relax and clear my mind.